Hello, everyone. This is Dr. J, host of the Sexuality Space, and this is our live event, the last one for 2022. My silent co host, Misha Elliott's behind the scenes preparing the tweets for today. And as people begin to gather into the live space, I wanted to share some information for those of you listening to the replay. The Sexuality Space is live every Wednesday, noon Eastern Time on Twitter. I have worked to create a sex positive community where we can talk about different sex topics, meet CEOs of sex companies, sex educators, researchers, and writers. And I work to integrate sexuality in everyday life by being seen in the daylight doing my work. I want to welcome everyone into this space. And as a reminder, this is a recorded space which will live on the Twitter timeline and be repurposed on my website, the FlowGen playlist, and on YouTube. Some of our regulars are beginning to arrive. So I wanted to share with you, last week we talked with we talked about a movie called How to Please a Woman, and I got great feedback from those people who watched. And this week we're going to be talking about holiday sexy gifts, and how we go about picking something sexy. So I see that Misha's here and has co-host status. Hi, Maggie. How are you? Misha, if you could put the blog post up in the nest, people can follow along if they want to see this. It's kind of interesting to put together a list of holiday gifts, and I read 7 curated lists that had anywhere from 14 to 50 different sexy holiday gift ideas. And I pulled these particular items from all of those lists. And one of the things that I did was that I grouped them into categories. Hi, Jacques. And the categories are sensuality, good vibes, kinky you, fun and games, artistic flair, and philanthropy. And I think people at holiday times or any gift giving time get nervous about how they approach this from a sexuality direction. And I always tell people to be true to yourself and in your relationship as you are exploring your options. So I'm going to go a little backwards from what the blog post actually identified. And the first thing that I want to talk about is something near and dear to my heart, which is philanthropy. And given the world that we live in, anytime that you can select a gift that is help and support to another, whether it's for mental health services, sex education, or legal support, I think if you can find a group that is right for you, that is wonderful. So I have listed 4 ideas that you could support and honor someone else with a money contribution. The first one would be to the Trevor Project. The second one is Woodhull Foundation. The third one is SIECUS, and the fourth one is SHIP, which is formerly known as the Center for Sexual Pleasure and Health. And if you're unfamiliar with some of these particular locations, the Trevor Project advocates against anti-LGBTQ laws, policies, and practices, and they connect peers through Trevor Space to create a safe social networking site. And they also do original research to capture the experiences of young LGBTQ people. And so that's their particular focus. If you remember, we had Mandy, the director for Woodhull Foundation, come in, and their focus is the fundamental human right to sexual freedom. And so they spend a lot of time working in the legal directions. So supporting them in their general fund, would be a great thing to do. Now, close to my heart is sex education, and that is what SIECUS has to do with. They've been in a nonprofit for 55 years, and they work to address sexuality honestly and openly. And they work it now through social change across the country. So they would be another interesting place that you could support with a contribution. And the last one is SHIP, Support Pleasure Guided Sex Ed. And they have been a really neat place because they are focusing on pleasure. And it's always good to be able to have those things around that we can support in that way. So I started with the philanthropy as a direction that you can go with because sometimes people are like, what do I buy someone who has everything? And whenever you can give to something else, that's always a great direction to start. So now let me start in with sensuality in sexy holiday gifts. I think I had more fun in this part than any of the things that I had to do with checking these out, reading descriptions, deciding what it was I was interested in. And I have to tell you, the one item that I thought I have got to have this, share this, what can I do with this, is from Maud, and it is a burn massage candle. And it comes in different scents. They have 0, 1, 2, 3. And the one that I selected here has notes of eucalyptus and sandalwood. And so it's absolutely fascinating to see that you could have a candle that melts and then you pour that lovely substance in your hands and start a skin softening massage event going on. And that is just, I really think, an interesting and fun item to consider. The other thing that was neat, and this could be for individuals or couples, would be the intimacy bath salts by Foria. And if you are a ritual bath person and you like the intimacy that that has to do with, I mean, this gives you, that relaxation point, and it also gets you in the mood all at the same time. So I thought that Foria has been an interesting thing with its CBD, and I have used their arousal and intimacy oils. So I really like their products. So I'm interested in what this one is going to be all about. So, sometimes in sensuality, you think about how comfortable you are or how you want to highlight different aspects of your body or another person's body. And I liked finding Jambies, which were super soft boxers with pockets, and these are for anyone. So it's a hybrid between a boxer, a brief, and basketball shorts. And I have to tell you, the coolest part around, besides it being, a unisex thing that you can do, is that it has pockets. So I am all about having things that are comfortable that I can wear that have pockets. So that was a really wonderful thing to find. The fourth item under sensuality was called the Elite Box by Adore Me. And again, if you are looking over your head at the nest, you can see this blog post that I have written with these particular items. I had never seen this particular subscription box, so it's kind of decadent, which I like in and of itself. And you take a style quiz and you let them know what you'd like. And for 7 days, you try everything on from the comfort of your home and you keep what you love and you return the rest. And it's really fun to see all of the different things. They have different styles. It could be lingerie, activewear, bras and bikinis, sleepwear, swimwear. And it's just a fun thing to think about visual for you, sensation on your body, what these different fabrics feel like. So there's a lot of different ways in a mindset of creating a space for you or another person that could really be sexy. So those are the items that I had identified under sensuality. So the next category was good vibes. And I don't see Mistress K in here today, but I have laughed so hard about her discussion of the Womanizer Pro 40 that she and I were having a conversation in the Moan app, and she was going on and on and on about how wonderful this particular um, sex toy was, and that she had gone and done the history to see how many versions that the maker of this had to do with. So the one that you're going to see that I linked to is actually purple. So I wanted you to make sure you knew I was sticking with my color theme here. And I love how they say the description: 6 intensity level clitoris suction massager clit sucking vibrator sex toy for women. So I think we got just about every descriptor that we possibly could get in there. Um, I like that it says it has powerful suction, yet whisper quiet operation. And that's been interesting. I was talking to a woman last week who was telling me that for her, the auditory of sex toys have been hard, that she doesn't like the extra rumbly sounds or that sort of thing. So finding something that has that quiet component sounded kind of interesting. So anyway, there's the Womanizer Pro 40. And I have said the oldie but goodie, the very first vibrator I ever had, the original Hitachi Magic Wand. And I like this because it can be easily used couple direction between you, being applied to you in whatever area on your body that you feel is the place that it needs to give you some of those great sensations. So it has been part of my good vibe sensation since day one of even knowing about what sexuality had to do with. So I'm really excited to talk about that. Now, the third item that I put in good vibes, because we watched that delightful movie, How to Please a Woman, was a remote control vibrator. And I want you to know that the vibrator that is listed here in the blog post is totally unavailable. I think everybody must have watched that movie and decided, I need to have this and I need to have some adventure going on with my person and see how we could, make this really interesting and fantasy directed. So maybe one of these days we'll actually get to try this one out, but we'll see. So the third category is kinky hot you. And I think maybe as one is aging, as I am, it's interesting to take a look at things that relate to gear, but that they also deal with accommodation. And I love the sex wedge pillow because that is truly accommodate, 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 getting your body in just the right position that fits for you, for a partner. And those are the things that maybe people don't think about that would be, this is a great thing to have. So I put that on the list. The other thing I put on the list were silicone handcuffs. And they're flexible and they're waterproof and they're soft. So it's kind of an interesting contrast to have hard and soft put together in thinking about what the whole kinky notion of being restrained has to do with. And so not only are they strong and stretchy silicone, but they are lightweight for travel. So you can take those wherever you need for them to be. So I was excited to be able to put those on my shopping list too. And the last thing that I put on under kinky is by Love Honey, and this is a black unisex strap-on harness brief with an O-ring. And one of the things that's interesting about this is that it is a discreet item that you could wear all day for immediate pegging or for packing, and you just can wear it under your clothes and it be very comfortable. Sometimes we don't think about the comfort enough in the process of getting things just like we want. And it comes with a mesh bag, so you could use that for storage or for gifting. And it does not come with any of the dildos or vibrators, so if you wanted to add that to it, then you need to do that. So those are the three items that I put under the kinky gear. Now, for fun and games, I picked three different things in this category. And the first one, this item came up everywhere. I thought this was absolutely interesting. And it was funny because this is Kinky Truth and Dare Pick a Stick. So this is almost like the pickup sticks of your childhood. And it's a way to spice things up. It's a way to confess some steamy secrets. It's an approachable, teachable, sexy, fun game. It can be provocative, but it's also also approachable. And it comes in this really cool little tin. You can just, keep it around. So you have all sorts of different ways that you could create a discussion between one or two or three or whoever you want to be having a kinky truth or dare session with. A lot of people, in terms of role playing, really like to get into how can I be another person. And so I added short bob wigs to this list, and they come in every color imaginable. And with that direction, you can just have fun changing your persona, and see what that does for you to be in a different type of space and what that does interactionally when you wear this. The third item that I found is called Tic Tac Toe, and it's based off the old tic tac toe game, but you do it in such a way that it has cards and you put the cards on a tic tac toe board. And it gives you information like here's one that says desire for dessert. There's something terribly erotic about licking whipped cream or chocolate sauce off of your partner. So go raid the kitchen for something tasty. Then slowly spread that whipped cream sauce or other dessert onto your partner's body, including you know where. Make sure to lick off every single drop. And when you do that, you put that on your board. So you can build anticipation. They have 28 foreplay activities and 28 intimacy sex activities, plus 50 sexy questions. So it's really neat to see how creative that people can be in coming up with teachable things that you can use or tools that you can have available to get a new discussion going on with your partner. Now, I have laughed so hard about autistic flair this year. This has been the funniest thing. I always believe that the body is a canvas. I always believe that the body is an art object, and I believe that the body captures art in motion. Well, this list of artistic flair items has everything. So finally, somebody created dark chocolate body paint. And I thought that I should pop in and ask Bobby Becker if she has used any of this because she does so much artwork in body painting that I think to think about the sexual component, adding the pleasure of taste and the skin direction added to that, that this would be a really fun thing. It comes in a really cute little um, it almost looks like a perfume bottle, but it's just a really neat thing and it comes packaged really, really well. The other thing that I did laugh a lot, so you gentlemen in the room, just get ready for this one because it's called Clone a Willy, the silicone penis casting kit for do it yourself dildo. And it comes in many different colors. So you get to mix it, hold it, pour it, and reveal it. And then you could use it for anything that you wanted to after that. So this was the art and do-it-yourself components to an artistic flair. The last item under artistic flair is Love is Art Canvas and Paint Kit. And this is a way to capture your special moments, as in moving around. What are you doing in sexual activity? And it is made onto a canvas. So you end up with a creation of what you have created. together. And so, if you're an adventurous couple, you might enjoy creating and trying this out. If this is not something you've ever tried before, it might be the perfect icebreaker to get the intimacy and conversation going in your relationship. So, that's why I put that on the list. Um, the last thing that I put on the list, because we already did philanthropy, is yeah, I have a couple of things that you might be interested in. I have a whole list of books that you can go over to Amazon and check out. And I have the new Purple Sex Reflection deck for women as a possibility. So those were the items that I came up with for holiday gift giving, and I am interested if whoever would like to come up now and make some comments. Boy, I see I have 21 comments. It's hard to do all of this one-on-one monologue and read all of these great comments you all have put here. So if anybody would like to come up and chat, now is the time. I want to hear what it is that you're putting together, how you come about doing that, and what's of interest to you. Go ahead, Mish.
I put all the links in the chat.
Oh, perfect. You sure did. Look at that. They all look good, don't they? Here we have all sorts of fun
Mhm.
things. It looks like the holiday list is right there ready to roll. So, oh, Mistress K, I was just talking about you. I hope your ears were burning so you know that. So, Misha, what did you think of the list?
Might have to get that candle. A
Yes.
couple of them.
Wasn't it interesting?
Yes.
Hey, Mistress K, you came up on stage. How are you today?
I'm good. I don't know if you can hear me okay. I'm in my car.
I can hear you just fine.
Perfectly. Yeah, my ears were burning. That's why I hopped in as soon as possible. So what'd you say? What'd you say about me? What are you guys
What
talking
did
about?
I said that when you and so today's conversation is about sexy gift giving, and I was saying that when you and I were in the Moan space, and you were having your mixer, we were having discussions of all sorts of different things, and somehow you started talking about your womanizer. And I went online and was looking at all the reviews and things that were said about it. So I put the womanizer in purple on the sexy holiday gift list.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. No, the reason that it came up in conversation is one of the people on the Moan chat had heard one of my rooms that I do. I do a series called the Toy Box Tease there, where I basically use the contents of my own toy box to kind of talk about my relationship and sexuality and all the other kind of stuff. But I actually do a toy review and throw it online. But I really didn't expect anything to come of it. It was more of just an excuse to make me write articles for my blog in a timely manner, you know, because otherwise the thing would sit there and there wouldn't be a fresh update for 6 months. So it was my little kick in the pants for that. And then so that I would actually have a deadline, I did the Moan Room as a result of it. So because apparently I need deadlines, because otherwise I'm like,
Uh,
ooh, look at the shiny thing. Um,
Well, I think all of us can relate to that. And, there could be people who have not purchased anything for a loved one so far this year, and they may be interested in any of these particular items that I've been talking about. I had said that I divided this up, and it's in a blog post, so you can go back and read it, that I had read 7 curated lists of really cool and interesting things, and I picked out ones that I thought were interesting for a lot of different reasons. So you can go back and take a look at that.
well, definitely will
Dr.
check that
J.
out. But yeah, he apparently bought the womanizer for his wife, and she didn't want to use it and was like, no, no, no. And then she took it up and just randomly is just like, I'm going to use it, and took it up and came within like 3 minutes, and it was like fastest orgasm ever.
Those are the best times sometimes.
I was like, well, that's just a win.
Well, go ahead.
Share your story about the incident with Mr. J and what he had in his pocket that replicated a little bit of that scene in the movie, please.
Yes. So if you were here last week, we had the discussion of the movie How to Please a Woman. And one of the highlights of that particular movie was the item that I placed on the list, which was a remote control vibrator. That the one I put on the list is out of stock. And I'm thinking, well, everybody must be watching this. So Mr. J got his present early this year in the form of a kayak sailboat. And he has wanted one for almost the time that we have lived here. And so it finally came and what he was working on. And he was in the driveway working on the boat. And he had this the car and the trailer were still together. And he's climbing up onto the sailboat. And every time he would raise his leg, the horn would go off on the car. And I was laughing because he had the car fob in his pocket, and it was just like the scene from the movie. And both of us looked at each other the second time that happened, and we died laughing. It's like, well, this is replicated in a totally different way. So that was a story that Misha was talking about. So see, there are all sorts of things that can make you laugh in the world.
Serendipitous. It was meant to happen.
It was meant to happen. Mish, who is next? I look down, I see lots of people up here.
I invited a bunch of people, and I thought I had invited Ramon, but he also requested. So
I'm here.
Whoever wants to go.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yes. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. No, what a great list. Wow, there's some things on there that we have used and they have been well received. Yeah, the womanizer is just killer. The Crave, spelled with a K, by Hot Octopuss has been quite well received this year. It's a dual motor insertable toy. So there's one up on the squishy head, one down near the base. I forgot which is which, but one is more treble frequency, the other's more bass, and you can independently control them. And it first time it was used, she clenched down so hard she forced it out, despite some reasonable efforts on my part. So that kicked off the use of that toy. So I highly recommend the Crave with a K by Hot Octopuss. You mentioned silicone cuffs. Yeah, we picked up some from Crave with a C, oddly enough, and they're, as you said, very lightweight, easy to travel with. Maybe not quite as functional as others, but yeah, you're right. Something like that. The last thing, and this is a build-up thing. You may be familiar with Advent calendars.
Yeah.
You open up a door for each day. We have a reusable Advent calendar, and we alternate the days from December 1st through the 24th of affirmations and thoughts about each other.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So and they're like little 1-inch cube boxes that you slide out, and we just, like I said, it's just a nice build up, and also kind of recap, and just so many good things, just about that to do with a partner. So that's been a real winner. We typically put little notes in there. And again, alternate the days between each other. So, and the last thing I got to say, I'm very experiential. So while a lot of these physical toys are really awesome, not to brown nose you too much there, but I did sign her up for your course in January. She is ecstatic. Also, couples massage, um, going on picnics and out of the way places where we can just have all sorts of foreplay and potential fun. The experiential stuff is huge, and so that's where my head is at. But yeah, you've got a great list.
Well, thanks, Ramon. And boy, I see that you added those suggestions off the tweet. So that's good. So we can check some of those out. I love it, love it, love it. And you didn't brown nose. I love that we're all coming together in community and sharing and learning. And this is what it's all about. So yay, 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 yay.
Well, so one more quick thing. Hot Octopuss is a company really, really works hard with working with the disability community and the LGBTQ, etc. community but most also the disability side I really want to highlight. I've had people say, well, I'm dealing with this or that or the other thing. They have got great stuff for people living with those issues.
Yeah, and I think, you start looking at the aging, and we've talked about this before, that it's all about accommodation. What can't you do as well as you used to, and where do you need support, and how can you get it, and that sort of thing. So I love knowing that there's a company that's, providing some of that physical direction. So I appreciate you sharing those particular things. Maggie, I see you're on the stage. Did you fly over my island this weekend?
I did. Can you hear me? Because I'm in the gym.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I'm alone, although I'm kind of sad about that because I could shock people, but no. I flew over your island on Monday, and I'll be flying over it again tonight. So if you feel a little wave, that's from me. I love the candle and I'm gonna get it for my boyfriend. So thank you so much for advertising it because he really loves massages, and this is a really great idea. And last year he got me a massage bar from Lush, which basically it melts in your hand. It looks like a bar of soap in the shape of a heart, and it melts in your hand as you're doing the massage. Not like in a messy way, but in a like really nice controlled way. So I'm gonna reciprocate and then get the candle this year. So thanks so much.
Oh, that is perfect. Well, we'll expect a report on how much he loved it, so that'll be great. Thanks, Maggie. Melissa, hello.
Hello. First of all, if Maggie could provide a link for that massage bar, that sounds amazing. And I'd be very grateful. I also wanted to add that if you're doing the paints or the body paints, etc., you might want to, get some rubber latex sheets also. So
Yes.
As I see stuff like that, I'm like, and I know who's going to be cleaning that shit up.
I should have put
that. It doesn't feel as much like a present. So that's my suggestion.
I should have put the latex sheet right underneath the body paint chocolate,
Yes.
So it's like, yes, we should be.
Exactly. Or disposable sheets, if something such a thing. So then no one has to be cleaner upper. And I also wanted to add that years ago, I was gifted honey dust. I don't know if you ever heard of honey dust.
I know honey dust.
Honey dust was fun.
They had some, there were several, let's see, honey dust I had gotten from Kama Sutra years back. And there was another company that I saw on, I forget which list it was on, but they had listed some honey dust kinds of things too. I think it's, some of that wonderful, which one of our senses do we want to be activated? And, some people like physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, then we look at sight, sound, taste, touch, all of that stuff. And if you know your partner, you know yourself, you're working these processes together to see which are the things that are going to be the the high ticket items that feel really great and get everybody where they want to be. In the way that Ramon was talking about the experiential component, be out and about, where can we have this, that, and the other going on? So it's the places, the themes, the sensations, the thoughts, all of this coming together in that fantasy place too, to help you get where you want to be with your gift giving. So thank you, Melissa, for sharing that. And I see Jacques here. Hey, buddy.
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm great. It's been a while. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Your list sounds very interesting. Especially the was it the massager with the quick massager? That would be fun to watch or use.
Yeah, I
And
tell you.
it'd also be rather flattering with the mold of me watching her use me that way. I'd be like, yeah, that would work. I like the chocolate and the games were cool. And I'd add in, considering that I have a foot fetish, some kind of ankle cuffs, like bracelets that are bangles that are permanent.
I
and
love it. Yes, yes.
and just foot jewelry, period. And considering that I like giving that stuff. And last, but if you're into crystals, there is this group called Shock Rubs, and they create wands and toys for ladies that are made out of crystals like amethyst, rose quartz, smoky quartz, and those kind of things.
Interesting. Interesting. I might have to do the science direction to see how some of that stuff works if it's used internally versus externally.
Well,
Because I do.
those properties of those crystals do have an effect on you when you carry them and in your pocket or use them. So I can imagine with a lady, it would be even more, more fulfilling and helpful in how you're feeling.
Yep, I could see that. Again, my point would be science, knowing that we have, if it's an internal direction, would any of this affect the pH balance, things related to an internal vaginal direction? Because we want healthy vagina if this is an internal usage. But yeah, I'm with you in terms of the creativity and tying together metaphysical information that affects us in so many different ways in a positive direction. So those are great, great, great suggestions. Have you already finished your shopping list?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, I've done what I wanted, and I think she'll like them. Matter of fact, she better like them because I always ask her everything.
Well, it's always fun to come up with the ideas that you're going to have and then see how how it was taken, how it was received, how it was used, how wonderful it felt. It's always good to get the feedback.
Well, my question is, baby, how you feel about that? Do you like it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And if she goes, no, well, then I don't get it. If she goes, ooh, I'd love that. Well, guess what she's getting?
And it's interesting because I think, the idea of presence. I've seen couples get in trouble with each other where they think this is only for me and they don't think about it related to the other person. And so that's why I started out. The whole point of this was honoring yourself and honoring you within the relationship, honoring the person in the relationship, and honoring the relationship, that all of those things come together for whatever the gift giving is that you're doing, and strengthening the connection that you have with another person.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty much how it is. You connect with each other, and if you're connecting on the same wavelength, and she's your soulmate, you want to know what's going on. You want to do what makes her happy, and I'm one that I'd love to satisfy. So that's me. I'm that guy.
Well, and hopefully she understands what it is that you like. So coming back in your direction, maybe she's going to be doing things that accentuate her ankles or accentuate her feet in a way that's going to get you just what you want.
She does. She knows my kryptonite.
That's cool. I don't know what you're doing, Doc, but that's an interesting sound behind you there.
Oh, I'm just, I'm resettling and just trying to keep the volume down. It's pretty loud in here.
Yeah, well, your crunching noise is coming through, so whatever that is. But thank you for sharing that, Melissa. I want to tap back into you in relation to what Jacques said. When you're doing acupuncture work and looking at things in your holistic direction, what do you suggest for people gift-wise thinking about sexuality as a holistic component?
Well, for the people who are open to that kind of talk, one of the things that we use in traditional Chinese medicine is called moxa. And it's not incense, but think of it like incense in that it's compressed herbs that you can light that provide warmth. And you can get loose moxa, which you ball up and put on the end of the needles, and which gives, so it allows you to get like literally pinpoint accuracy in where you are using heat therapy. But it's also really great for the immune system, and it's used a lot in fertility and sexuality issues, especially in the winter. So you can also get it in like rolls, so it looks like a very fat incense stick, and that's actually what I'm giving to my patients this year. Is they're each getting some moxa that they can use at home on themselves, and I tell them where to use it, both for immunity and whatever issues with self pleasure or couples pleasure that they're having.
Well, okay, that sounds like a delightful, delightful thing. Where do I get it besides knowing you have it?
I don't know if the public can buy it, but I'll hook you up.
Ooh,
I
a
will.
hookup.
Pardon me?
I said a hookup.
Yeah, I'll hook you up, Dr. J. I don't know if the public can get it. You might have to, make an appointment with your local acupuncturist.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be looking now to see who has that because that would be an interesting thing. And I think the more tools that we can put in our sexuality toolkit, the more fun we're going to be having and work for all that balance that we need in our life for ourselves and for our relationships. So, Melissa, thank you for sharing some cool stuff in that direction. Ramon, I was going to ask you, were you all finished with your holiday gift shopping?
Um, yes, I am. I am mostly done. The one other thing I do that is appreciated is, I create recipes and stuff, and I also cook with cannabis. So I will make a 3-course meal that has cannabis infused in some of the product, and that can just make for a nice relaxing evening or set up for an evening as well. So and sometimes it's just canapes or finger foods, but there's just the right amount there to just kind of mellow things out and see where it goes. But other than that, yeah, I'm done.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Well, it's interesting for me being in the travel mode. It's, getting everything set up way ahead of time. So it's fun to do a sexuality list after the fact and go, wow, why didn't I think about that? So this may be New Year presents that I buy to celebrate the new year. So between the womanizer, the salt bath and the candle, I'm really looking forward to seeing what those particular items are going to be about. So that'll be kind of fun. So Maggie, now you're going to run out and get the candle You got other things already finished?
Dr. J, I barely started yesterday. I think between all the travel and work and writing, I completely forgot that Christmas was even a thing that I participate in every year. So I'm gonna have to, but it's a good thing, right? Because then I can look at this list. But honestly, when you guys were talking, I felt like, as I've told you and Misha, I turned 40 next year and I'm doing a whole year celebration of me, from me to me, to celebrate me, as egotistical as that sounds. And some of those things look really amazing. So I think I might get a few of those things for myself, to be honest. So
Well,
yeah, I'm
I
going to be looking
love
really
that.
closely at that list. Thank you for sharing again.
Oh, excellent. And you know what? I think that may be the ultimate of self-care, to think about a midpoint in life and to say, I'm going to invest in myself and I want to see where I am and how things are going, and pleasure, desire, all of that. And I'm so excited that, and I've been talking to Mish about the fact that the three of us are going to end up together on the island, writing together as high level pleasure. And there is a woman that some of you are going to meet. I'm going to tell you that right now. Some of you in the room will meet this woman who says, if you have erotica writers or people who write sexy scenes coming to your house, I intend to be there because I want to be involved and I know nothing about writing. So this will this will be a very interesting time frame for you to get celebrated in a different way.
Dr. J, I'll just say you have such a way with words because I like your phrasing better than mine, self-care, so I'm going to steal that. Thank you.
Well, hey, we have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first in order to get out there in the world and do the things that we're doing. So I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you're doing that for yourself, because I think that is a monumental thing to do for year 50. Maybe I'll be thinking about that for year, whatever the number is for next year. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Mish, have you got anything you want to add here?
Mm, don't think you have to buy something for somebody you enjoy spending time with, because quality time is the best gift that you can give anyone.
Wisdom words today. Absolutely. Which is one of the reasons that I like to put those do it yourself items in there, because while we can purchase any number of things, our creativity, our imagination, knowing each other, create games, create stories, create items. The way Ramon was talking about cooking and his experiential direction, those are time and give of yourself. And that is what connection has to do with. And you're making the direction of importance of people to you. And I just looked up on the screen, which is why I paused for a moment. Oh, Melissa left. I'll give her that link. I was seeing that you had the link in there, Maggie, for the massage bar. So I'll make sure that I send that to Melissa when we're done.
I also added it to the nest.
Yeah, can I ask a clarifying question about this chat? Because I feel like when I looked at Misha's links, they were being sent to the sexuality space, whereas when I did mine, it went automatically to you. And I'm wondering, is there a difference? And also, like, how do I do it so that it goes into the space, or does it not even matter? Is it just a technical question about the chat?
I saw it in the reply in the chat. When I click on the button for the chat, it is in there.
Okay, so then
That's
it doesn't
where I
matter.
shared it from. Right.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I think technically, I do see the difference replying to the sexuality space. Huh, that's interesting.
Did it come up in a different place? It's not in the,
No,
it's not.
it's in the chat.
That's interesting because I don't see it in the chat. I'll have to go back and
Really?
take a look about that. Yeah, well, I'm flipping
Okay.
through pretty fast here, so I could easily
Well, I
have
shared it
missed
in
it.
the nest and it'll go over, with everything else where you share it, it'll be there forever.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be cool. Excellent, excellent. Well, those were the highlights that I wanted to hit today, and then talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing into the future. So in the last 10 minutes, that's what I want to talk about, where things are in the future and what I'm going to be doing. And I will not be running a sexuality space for the next 2 weeks. And so we will be back here on January the 4th. New year, new mindset for sexy plans. And then the following Tuesday, we will be blessed with Dr. Laurie Mintz, author of Becoming Cliterate. So I'm really excited to have her into the space and talking about that. I will start the Purple Sex and Erotic Whims in January on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And I either today or tomorrow, Mistress K, so you hear this, I will be listing the times and updating a bio and doing all those things to get it out that I have those 4 scheduled spaces in January. And I'm not clear about this. I don't know if there will be a specific link that people could go to, like when we have the sexuality space link. So I'm investigating that for being able to have access when the space is scheduled, and then have a link that I'll be able to share, about the timing and when that is. There's going to be a lot of interesting things going on at the first of the year with the Purple Sex deck and course that's happening starting January the 10th. And then I'm hoping that in February, if the timing works out, that I'll be adding a course for a 4-week Scenes with Sex direction, as the book will hopefully be ready to come out. And then maybe in March, run another Purple Sex course at that point in time. I will be traveling from April the 1st until I think April the 21st. And this is going to be a fascinating trip because I'm flying to Budapest, and I will be going down the Danube River and will end in Amsterdam for the Tulip Festival. And hopefully, I've been having some conversations with some Rosie writers who live in Europe. And my dear friend that started my entire writing career online, Marie Rebel, lives in Amsterdam. So I'm hoping that I will get to meet her. I'm hoping along the way in the Germany component that perhaps I'll be able to connect with Angora Shade and see if she can meet me by train in some location. So there are people internationally that I really hope that I get to meet. As I go into Austin next week, I already have plans set up with Rocio Paleo, who was the founder of Reimagined Sexuality. So we have dinner planned. And I have a vineyard tour planned with Jennifer Navarrete. And so Caleb Jones is the last person on my list to get a nailed down time frame. Mr. Moan App himself. We intend to get together and see what we can cook up. So those are the kinds of things that are finishing out the year, as well as what I'll be doing for the first quarter of 2023. So any of you that have speakers want a speaker status, Maggie, Ramon, Misha, make a comment here at the end, and then I'll close us out.
Oh my gosh, Donna, Budapest. If you like spa baths and you have time, they apparently have some lovely ones. So I'm very jealous to hear about your trip. That sounds amazing.
Spa bath, excellent. I'll put it on the check it out list.
I'm just going to say thank you for a wondrous year from you and your amazing sidekick, production specialist, etc. And I hope you enjoy the cruise through my heritage world, and just excited to hear about it when you get back.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Ramon. I appreciate it. Mish.
If your suitcase is a little heavy, just pay the fee.
I hear you're going to be in the suitcase. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. Well, anyway, I'm going to comment on the year. It has been a fascinating 2022. Lots of things happened that I never expected to see. I also saw that today. Rachel Kramer Bussell noted that her book, How to Write Erotica, will be out on Valentine's Day. And I'm one of the people that she interviewed for the book. So I have quotes going through there, and I'm just absolutely floored to know that has happened. So that's pretty darn exciting to see what's going to go on for 2023. But I hope all of you have a delightful day. And as my final sign off, I'm going to tell you in 1 hour, I will be sitting in front of the TV watching the France England World Cup semifinal. As my connection to my son who played college soccer, we still talk. I still get text messages. I still can tell you who's on the field playing and what they're doing. So that's how my day's going to go. I just go straight from sexuality holiday gifts right onto the soccer field, to which Misha says, I don't know why you haven't written any smut soccer. So, part of this process is still out there. I'm still doing it. I'm still moving things forward. And I look forward to 2023 in the sexuality space and see what all we're going to create and move forward to in the new year. Y'all have a great day.